I'm Bob Williams, the Director of Aquascan International Limited, and the purpose of this video is to introduce two new products which in fact are in one case an accessory to the Aquapulse, which is a standard product that's been produced for many years, and the product itself is normally utilized with fairly conventional loops. It's a full underwater detector that will normally work down to something like 100 meters, so it's a very robust detector. What we've got here is a product that has been used as an accessory, but only commercially on specialized projects, but there's no reason why it can't be used extensively for a wider range of applications, marine archaeology in particular. And in fact, what it is, it's a means of burrowing down deep into sand and sediment by the means of putting a hose on the end of a hollow tube that we've got here. There's a metal connector on the end here, which is a quick connect. It takes a 1-inch reinforced hose. On the other end, which I'm going to draw back towards me, is a loop that's actually built into the tip here. If I turn the detector on, we initially get a little bit of background, and if I offer metal towards it with this, we will actually get a very clear detection. The actual deployment of this is by a diver while he's underwater, equipped with the Aquapulse, so he uses it in the conventional sense, apart from the fact that he is now, with the aid of the water pressure coming into this tube, easily able to burrow down through deep sediment, and it is very much a proximity detector. As you reach the hard under base, the actual seabed itself, whatever metallic items are down there or shallow buried in that seabed, this will detect, and it will give you a pinpoint location, and it can actually determine what we call hotspots, where there is things there that are of value, things there that can be excavated, etc. So it is a form of being able to, rather than randomly sort of excavate areas, be much more focused in the actual excavation. And moving on from that, we've actually got the secondary product that I want to introduce, which if I actually put this product down, it is a slightly more sophisticated product, and in fact on this side here, tended to use the same technique to actually get the actual deployment, which is with the aid of in this case a 2-inch hose via these what we call a camlock connector at the top. This actual tube here, built into it, has a camera, which is an illuminated camera, and here we have the monitor, which is both a surface monitor with a built-in recorder, and we've also here, which is attached to the actual device itself, with the aid of a long cable, we can get as much as 50 meters away from the boat. And with this monitor here, I'm now the diver, I'm deploying this, I can see exactly what is on the seabed. I can be fairly confident that people up top who are actually monitoring the situation, recording, are seeing exactly what I'm seeing, and if I find something that looks more interesting, I can spend more time with it than I would if I was just randomly deploying it without the visual. So this is a very important part of the system that actually allows me as a diver to see exactly what is being shown up on the seabed. With the aid of illumination, the fact that it would normally be total darkness, with a control as well that we can adjust the amount of illumination, we can get hopefully a perfectly focused picture of what's down below. It is a fairly short focus. It's intentionally done that because you don't need to look long range, so generally it will provide quite a detail of actually what is actually being seen. What I'm going to do now is actually put this monitor to one side, and I'm actually going to pick the device up and just be able to show you the fact that if I can actually get this into position, I'm actually going to put it into a bucket of water, and actually we should be able to see that in water the angle, it actually goes slightly narrower angle, which then avoids seeing the inside of the tube itself. And we've actually got, in this case, a couple of modern coins, which are just for the initial means of showing you that the camera will actually show fairly fine detail. So that's as much as we can actually do as a deck-based introduction to it. We have a large piece of hose on the side here which shows the type of hose that is going to be utilised with it. We will be coupling this up. The next phase of this filming is going to be, we're taking this product outside the harbour, we're actually going to be deploying it. What we're going to find, that remains to be seen. It's somewhere I haven't dived before. It's where a wreck was blown up outside the harbour, so we'll see what there is there to be seen, and hopefully there'll be some interesting items. But the point is that we'll actually show you how this product works and what it can actually do as a very, very powerful means of seeing what's underneath the seabed, rather than guessing or having to make massive excavations to try and find something that with this we can actually find it with what I would call a form of keyhole surgery. So that's as much as I can tell you on deck, and hopefully that's given you a reasonable idea of what the product's all about, and we'll take it from there on the outside of the harbour. We're now fully deployed, and as you can see the jet cam is going vertical and immediately penetrating the seabed with very little effort on my part as I'm pushing and maintaining the thrust into the seabed. It's only a gentle thrust, and as it's going down I'm actually feeling when I'm actually reaching the underlying seabed, but quite clearly seeing on the monitor exactly what there is to be seen. So I've got a pretty good idea of when I see something that is of interest, and I can spend a little bit more time there. If there's nothing of any great interest, then I can simply retrieve, move across a bit, and pick another spot and have another try, just trying to identify the nature of what's down there. And as you can see, it's almost weightless when it's actually out of the bed, and just goes back in very quickly and easily. On the surface, in the meantime, the topside people can monitor what's going on. Here we go back into full deployment now, and we're actually seeing what the camera's seeing, and immediately here we can actually see a steel beam that is quite distinct from the seabed. You can see the very, very straight lines that appear that really define it from the background, and this is quite a solid section of steel that's come from this old shipwreck, and again another very, very significant steel edge. Immediately we know that we have confirmation that underneath the sediment there is quite a bit of metallic content. That's the dive part of the video completed. We did get some really good penetration into the seabed that went with quite a bit of ease, and moving it from one position to another position worked quite well. Actually, what we've discovered on the seabed remains to be seen within the video, which at this stage I haven't actually seen, apart from what I saw on the monitor while I was down there. But that does give me a good insight into the fact that there are things that look unnatural. We didn't see anything that I could readily identify at this stage, but this is an experimental part of the deployment, and we're actually on a site where a ship was dismantled. There's quite a lot of scrap, a lot of parts left from this HMS Warspite that was towed here and actually dismantled on this spot. So basically we're in about 10 meters of water with varying depths of sand on the bottom, and typically we were in about 1.5, perhaps no more than 2 meters, and literally with what was available to be seen, we've seen what was down there. it was more to do with showing the actual deployment, the actual nature of the equipment, and exactly what it can do. Obviously, in a more exciting seabed condition, in somewhere where there's a lot more interesting things to be seen, then it can obviously achieve a considerable amount of insight into what's there to be recovered. So that's as much as I can say about this. We will be doing further deployments, hopefully in more interesting areas, and some of this video will appear, and hopefully we'll catch you again soon.